the chart that you and I are sharing, what does this represent? Well, this represents the consumption of beta-alanine at approximately 3.2 to 6.4 grams over a period of time, anywhere from 2 to 10 weeks, in relation to exercises or exertion between 60 and 240 seconds. So what the researchers were trying to do here at looking at a series reviews, otherwise known as a systematic review, is look at regard to what could benefit combat sports. And this was quite amazing. Now, the asterisk that you see there, or you may want to consider a star, are the results that indicated the outcomes were of statistical significance, meaning not likely to chance. And those primary advantages were as follows. We go accumulated strength, average hit force, knee extension force, anaerobic power, total exercise work capacity, average power, number projection, and number of hits. That is pretty amazing. Coming to their conclusion in regard to reviewing the studies themselves, or a series of studies, was a safe supplement and beneficial for combat sports. Now, without further ado, let's get into the study itself, which is going to elucidate or enlighten us in regard to how long it was taken or consumed. It was all done through capsules. And two, the timing of when was most beneficial, which surprised me as well. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a clue. I thought it would be best primarily on an empty stomach prior to a meal. But since the effect of beta-alanine through oral consumption was the result of elevating carnosine levels, it worked better with either protein or carbohydrate consumption. So let's get right into the study as follows. Beta-alanine does not have an ergogenic effect by itself, but it does as a precursor for the synthesis of carnosine in human skeletal muscle. Before I proceed, people are going to go, why not just take carnosine by itself? Well, again, with that being interjecting publisher bias in regard to changing the methodology of the study itself, there's questions in regard to expense, absorption, and then carnosine itself breaking down through digestion to beta-alanine and histidine. So there is a little bit of a longer path in order to eventually have carnosine actually end up as carnosine in the muscle per se, hypothetically. Henceforth, that is why they wanted to go to beta-alanine, because obviously it is something which gave them more, how would you say, consistent results or outcomes. To proceed, beta-alanine and carnosine together help improve the muscle's functionality, especially in high-intensity exercises such as combat sports. Therefore, beta-alanine could be considered a nutritional ergogenic aid to improve sports performance in combat athletes. Now, remember too, we covered beta-alanine in regard to military performance. But to proceed, we aim to critically review clinical trial evidence on the impact of beta-alanine supplementation on sports performance, perception and anthropometric body proportion parameters, as well as circulating biochemical markers in combat athletes. Again, combat in regard to or relation to grappling, hitting, and a mix of the two. Beta-alanine is a non-essential amino acid synthesized in in the liver. Beta-alanine does not have an ergogenic effect by itself, but it does as a precursor. I'm going to reiterate a few things here as we go through the full study, but it's important. For the synthesis of carnosine, henceforth, as we discussed, beta-alanine and L-histidine. In human skeletal muscle, carnosine improves muscle contraction, increases the sensitivity of myofibrillar, calcium, and fast fibers. It mediates 8 to 15% of the intramyocyte buffer capacity, reducing the limiting effect of performance related to acidosis. All right. In addition, it has been reported that exercise performance is improved with more pronounced effects in activities lasting 1 to 4 minutes at doses of 4 to 6 grams a day for at least 2 to 4 weeks, with a significant increase in carnosine from 20 to 30% and 40 to 60%, and after 10 weeks, an approximate increase of 80%. Beta-alanine has shown a moderately elevated ergogenic effect on the attenuation of neuromuscular fatigue. Now, again, You're going to find as we go into this, it's going to give you a maintenance dose afterwards. To proceed, beta-alanine supplementation was administered by oral capsules. There's a reference to the studies. And beta-alanine is doping-free. Doses range from 4 grams a day to 6.4 grams a day and 0.3 grams a kilogram a day. Recently, Sport Integrity Australia recommended that beta-alanine supplementation should be started with a loading phase of 3.2, there's where the 3.2 came from, grams per day for 8 weeks, or, if you're a little impatient, 6.4 grams per day for 4 weeks. Followed by maintenance beta-alanine supplementation of 1.2 grams per day, which makes it really a cost-effective ergogenic aid. To proceed, in this sense, reported that beta-alanine supplementation, referring to a study, footnoted by 18, of 1.2 grams a day could maintain muscle carnosine in the range of 30 to 50% above pre-supplementation. That's pretty phenomenal levels. It should be considered that intracellular carnosine levels are mainly determined by the availability of extracellular beta-alanine. There's the kicker. Why not take carnosine by itself? Well, if the carnosine is determined by the availability of extracellular beta-alanine, you could see the hypothesis there. Or actually, I don't know, maybe causal. To proceed. Even more so, histidine could be supplemented to enhance intracellular carnosine stores. The timing of beta-alanine supplementation in the studies included in this review was with the main meals, immediately after main meals, and with breakfast and lunch. Beta-alanine supplementation during carbohydrate and protein-rich meals markedly increased muscle carnosine content compared with beta-alanine supplementation between meals. For example, normally if I was going to take beta-alanine prior to workout, I'd be taking it prior to workout on an empty stomach. But since it's really the carnosine that results from the beta-alanine supplementation, you get the picture. Perhaps insulin could induce beta-alanine uptake by stimulating a greater carnosine load in muscle through the activation of the sodium-potassium pumps present in the skeletal muscle myocytes. Conclusions. Beta-alanine supplementation, a dose range, again to reiterate, sounds repetitive, but it is. 4 grams to 6 grams a day for at least 4 weeks can improve athletic performance for high-intensity exercises lasting between 60 and 240 seconds. With intramuscularly induced muscularly in extremely acidic environment. Taken together, the results described in our systematic review showed that beta-alanine supplementation is safe, with potential effects on performance in strength, power, and total work capacity, as well as combat-specific parameters in combat athletes. Also, supplementation with beta-alanine improves lean mass, decreases fat mass, improves the feeling of recovery after a fight. End sentence. These benefits were associated with the availability of beta-alanine and carnosine, which is the product that forms the beta-alanine to buffer hydrogen ions. I think it's hydrogen ion molar concentrations in regard to pH environments, and with some antioxidant capacity. Therefore, beta-alanine could be a suitable NEA for combat athletes seeking to improve their sports performance and anthropometric parameters. But more evidence is needed to confirm these findings. Considering the described results, supplementation with beta-alanine could be beneficial in sports with the physiological characteristics simulating. Combat sports can be stimulating. Simulating combat sports, such as high-intensity intermittent exercises and high-intensity exercises of more than 1 minute and less than 4 minutes. And when fatigue is established as CrossFit, artistic, or rhythmic gymnastics, which you don't think is combat sports, middle distance running and athletes swimming and rowing. So, a good place ended there. You get the idea of how powerful beta-alanine could actually have the potential of being. And again, the takeaway, besides improvement in many of those parameters, the consumption of beta-alanine seems to work fairly well. Again, we go to Sports Austria, with 3.2 grams for about 8 weeks, or 3.4 grams, 6.2 grams, base 3.2 grams a day for 8 weeks, 6.4 grams a day for 4 weeks of loading with a 1.2 gram maintenance dose, taken primarily with protein and carbohydrate-rich meals to really, really give you the extra boost in that carnosine levels. Now, what they showed, again, to take away as well, is the beta-alanine outside the cells really determine the carnosine levels. So that brings to the question consuming carnosine directly on its own. There may be potential benefit in consuming beta-alanine with histidine as well. It may have an effect if a person may be histidine deficient in regard to helping boost those carnosine levels as a whole. Kind of wordy, I know, but still just the same. An incredible takeaway in regard to an ergogenic aid that may benefit combat sports to an amazingly beneficial degree. Yeah, now I'm getting wordy. Again, gratitude to the researchers. This is actually pretty amazing overall as far as seeing something validated so well in so many studies. And as also to our gratitude, and I am humbled that you watch. And I'll catch you later on before I trip over my tongue much more. See y'all next time. And I can't wait to see what you and I share next week. Catch you then. Bye.